Welcome to The Sober Unicorn. We are a gay-hosted, all-inclusive podcast about sobriety and addiction recovery for the LGBT plus community and all of our allies. I am your host, Holden, and thank you for joining us today. Hey, everybody. It's Holden back here again with The Sober Unicorn. Hope that everybody's having an absolutely amazing day, and if you're not, I do hope your day gets better. Today we are being joined by Mark. Well, hello, Mark.
Hey, how's it going, Holden?
You know what? Doing really well. I mean, it could always be better, but it could always, sure as most, fucking definitely be a lot worse.
Nah, true.
So Mark and I met, I would say, about 3 weeks ago in the 12-step fellowship, and more recently have we kind of been reaching out and, like, leaning on each other for recovery. And so I kind of just wanted him to come on and talk to everybody and fucking do the damn thing. So let's kind of flip it and reverse it. So normally we go into active addiction first.
Right.
But I want to kind of like change the pace here. So let's start with the positive, which is recovery. So how did you find recovery? Where did you find it? And how has that process been for you?
All right. So recovery, it kind of, how I found it, I would say about, honestly, I was introduced to the program of recovery by a judge, and that was in I want to say 2018, and I was introduced to AA, and I had to go there. I was court ordered. It wasn't on my own free will. I had to attend meetings and get my meeting sheet signed, and I just wasn't into it. After a short while, I figured out I could sign my own meeting sheet and get away with it, and then I stopped going. But yeah, man, as far as NA, like, I've seen it when I was at the AA meetings. There was a NA door like next door in this plaza or whatever. And I seen it, and I was like, Narcotics Anonymous. I was like, oh, that's for junkies, man. So I was like, that's fucking, that's for junkies or whatever. It wasn't up until the end of 2022 that I've really come to find out that NA is, a program with my people. How I ended up finding it is, I listened to a podcast. All right, yeah. So, so I ended up finding a podcast that I listened to in the later part of 2022 that really explained to me about this particular 12-step program.
What was the name of the podcast?
Hell Has an Exit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have heard of that podcast as well. So if you guys haven't tuned into that podcast, it's somebody here local to the state of South Florida. His name is Brian, and he runs the Hell Has an Exit podcast. So you're able to find that, I believe, on YouTube as well as Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So if you haven't checked it out, go ahead and do that.
But yeah, man. So So what happened was I was in Nebraska at the time, Omaha, Nebraska at the time, and I was listening to this podcast, and when I listened to the stories of the guests that were on the show and the host himself, they were talking about this one particular home group that really caught my attention, because coming into this program, I had an idea that, I had a, reservation that, it was going to be, a bunch of, addicts sitting in a circle and just, being depressing and just, I can't use, or I used today and, but I'm not going to use tomorrow. I'll try to do better. That was like my whole thought of the whole, this particular 12-step program. But, yeah, when I heard that podcast, man, I was just like, that actually sounds kind of fun. So when I made a decision to move back to Florida, the first thing I wanted to do was go to a 12-step meeting.
Yeah.
But life has a way of showing up on life's terms. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So 2 weeks later, 2 weeks later, I found a particular meeting, and I ended up messaging. So just to go back, I found another 12-step meeting from another fellowship.
Okay.
So I went to that one. I wasn't feeling it. I was like, man, this feels like the first time I went to this particular fellowship.
Yeah.
You know, no one was reaching out. No one's, acknowledging me. No one's, So I was just like, shit. Well, let me just roll the dice and DM the host of Hell Has an Exit to see if, he at least could get back to me about the particular meeting that he attended in his earlier stages of recovery. And to my amazement, he did. Yeah. So he was just like, go to this one. And I was like, which is our home group now, right? So he's like, go to this one. And, I go there and, immediately I walk into this dark room and and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And this dog's barking at me. And this one guy goes, don't worry about him. That dog's racist. And, it just made me feel, I don't know why, but it just made me feel at home because, I could already see the camaraderie, I could already see the familiarity.
I mean, that's one thing I would say, because I was also in the alcohol fellowship. Yeah. And I also when I came to the narcotic one, I kind of felt the same way. I was like, oh, it's going to be a whole bunch of people that are like on crack and heroin. Right. They're going to be doing drug deals in the parking lot. And that is like quite the fucking opposite. I mean, it's the fellowship, for me, the experience that I've had, so I can't speak for everybody. The experience that I had in the narcotic fellowship has been incredible, and people, camaraderie is so much more. I don't know whether these people are perma-fried from the drug use, but let me tell you, like, these meetings are hopping. Like, people are coming in dressed to the nines. They're like, I'm going to wear my Jordans. And, like, we be getting in a circle. Yes, there's addicts in a circle. Hello, that's what we do. And you can tell these motherfuckers don't want to step onto the grass. They don't want to get their shoes dirty. But go ahead.
But yeah, man, and that's what really, that's one of the things that really kept me coming back, getting that first hug, from someone that was so much different than me that I didn't think I would see anything in common, didn't have anything in common with, just getting a hug and feeling welcomed. And, it was everything for me at the time, in my early recovery. Because, man, when it came to sharing, as a newcomer, like a super newcomer, it's nerve-wracking, man. It's quite intimidating. You get the feeling that sometimes that, the people that's been there quite some time don't want to hear your bullshit, your bitching, complaining about wanting to use. But it's just like, fuck it, man. I have to save my ass, man, And I guess that's one of the things early on that I'm glad I practice, is that, no matter what, no matter where I'm at, no matter how I'm feeling, I'm going to, open up and share about it. And if it's not in a meeting, then it's going to be with someone else that's in the fellowship,
And that's what I do like, comparing like the two fellowships that I've experienced is when it came to the narcotics one is they set aside a specific time within the meeting for the people to bitch and be like, I want to get fucking high, and whatever comes to them, whatever they need to get out in like a diarrhea of the mouth. Yeah. While the other one doesn't have that, so I think that's why when it is a go around in the meeting, people tend to share it during that, which can kind of bring down the excitement, I would say, of the meeting. But so what I've noticed is you're incredibly involved in any Narcotics Anonymous event. Let me tell you that. I'm name drop the fellowship, but what is the reasoning for you getting involved in so much of the activities that they do?
Man, if I could be honest with you, I do not like service, but I do it because I'm taking the suggestions, and I'm doing it because I'm trying to get out of feeling comfortable with being stagnant, you know, so I'll grow to like it because if you move a muscle, you change a thought, right? But there's some service commitments I like, you know, like when it comes to service commitments in home group, I love that, man. You know, like I could remember in my particular home group, all I wanted was to chair the meeting, you know, so I waited 6 months to chair the meeting and I finally got to do it. And I was like, okay, that's nerve wracking. Let me step down. But you know, it's just cause I mean, naturally it's like I'm a shy person, man. Even though I do go around and try to talk to people and try to fellowship and everything, I'm just a shy person at heart. I don't like being in the spotlight, you know, but I realized that I kind of not necessarily have to be in the spotlight, but you know,
You have to be noticed, and
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to be noticed.
yeah,
but
not
it's-
noticed, but you know, you have to.
Throw yourself in the middle.
Right.
I've always said that, like when I go to meetings and stuff, I put myself in the middle of the room. I'm always sitting up front.
Yeah,
Not to be like
exactly.
head of the class or anything,
Right.
but it's the closer you are in the middle. Like if you ever feel that you need to go out, like you won't be able to make it out the fucking door because
Exactly.
there's rows and rows of people that are going to stop you. If you
Hell yeah.
you go into a meeting and sit at the edge, and you already sitting next to the door. When it's time for you to go out and make stupid decisions,
Yeah.
shit, you 2 steps away from the
Yeah.
fucking door.
Yeah, man, facts.
So what? Okay, so before we get into the addiction aspect of your story, comparing recovery and comparing how you were during your addiction, what difference of freedom is there? If I need to reword that, let me know.
I am just starting to forgive myself, man. I'm just starting to say it's okay. You are not your past. You know, you're not responsible for your past, but you are responsible for your recovery. I'm just now starting to realize that, man, the difference in freedom, man. Towards the last stages of my using, man, it was a chore. At first, when it started, it was fun, but it became a chore, man. It was like I was a slave to it, you know. And you know, now, man, now where I'm at with it, to not even have the urge to use, you know. Granted, you get your days, you know, where you're like, oh man, you're watching a movie or something, and they're like doing your, you know, DOC or whatever, and you're like, damn, you know. But it just quickly goes away, man. It's just because everything I'm learning here and just the little that I've already gotten in recovery, I don't want to give up, you know. Just the little things that I receive, man, the little gifts of recovery. I don't want to give it up for anything, man, you know. So that's the freedom, really, man. Like, I'm trying to protect it at all costs, you know. Like, I cut off friends that I had I've been using with, the same friends since high school, man. I've been using with. I just cut them off completely, man. And it's just like, it was heartbreaking, but it was like, fuck, I need this for myself, man, you know.
I know when I came here to Florida, a lot of my old using friends were still hitting me up, which were causing me to like get those cravings, and I end up changing phone numbers, and I deleted. So I like had my Android, had my new iPhone, and I hate iPhone, but beside the point. I was like, before I transfer these, let me go through them. And I was like, if I did any drugs with you, if you participate in any drug use, I deleted it. I deleted almost 500 contacts on my phone.
Jeez.
And so thankfully, I mean, now that I'm in a fellowship program, I have a ton of phone numbers again. But, and that's the thing is, people from an outside perspective, or somebody that hasn't experienced a fellowship, is they think that our lives are consumed by the fellowship, which then doesn't give us freedom from the addiction. Which, like, because our entire life is surrounding the 12-step program.
Yeah.
Which, the thing is, yes, in early recovery, bitch, fuck your freedom. Okay?
Yeah, for real.
Like, you need to stay clean, and you need to figure out how you're going to continue that. But through new friendships and everything like that, it does take some time. Like, I'm starting to finally get invited places. I went to a party on this past Saturday for somebody's 15-year anniversary. I'm not going to say who they are, but, and like, these people had like They rented out a venue. They had like mermaids in the pool. They had a tiger and a lion, and I was the only bear. Oh my! But like,
Man, don't tell me about this party, man.
I know. I got pictures. I'll send it to you. But the thing is like you see these people that are having a blast, twerking their ass off, congregating, kids running around, having a great time, and there's absolutely no alcohol anywhere in sight, no drugs anywhere in sight, and like you see these people and you're like, holy shit! Like these are all people that have overcame some of the darkest portions of their life and are now free to go to a party because they're not in their bathroom shooting up or chopping up lines on the counter, or at a bar like me. That's when I was in my alcoholism. Like my entire life had to be centered around somewhere I could get booze.
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh, we want to go to this party. Okay, well, will there be liquor?
Yeah.
If not, I wouldn't. I skipped a friend's wedding because she didn't have an open bar. What do you go to a wedding for unless it's to get fucked up? I mean, well, at that time, what else do you go for? It's not to celebrate their love. I mean, it's to use them for free alcohol
and free food, right?
So, now that you kind of shared a little bit of your freedom-ish, we'll revert back to that. Tie us into the lack of freedom and the chaoticness that your addiction was.
Man. Yeah, man. So to go back, I could really, if I could really explain the last few years, the last couple of years of my using, it was just like a zombie. I was just in zombie mode, man. I was basically like a robot. It hadn't become fun anymore. On the first year of my last year of using, I made a decision to stop. I made a decision to leave Florida because Florida was the problem. Right?
Anybody could, I don't know if you heard me roll my eyes, but I sure did.
Right? So that's what I thought. I was like, yo, Florida's the problem. Let me move away from, everyone and everything, and then I'll be okay. I mean, I'm starting new, fresh, and I'll be okay. So I decided to move up to Nebraska, Omaha, Nebraska, and I brought myself with me,
So question, do they have Omaha steaks there?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, is that where they come from?
To you, man, it's pretty fire. The beef, the meats there. If that's one thing, hands down, they have everywhere.
I don't know what else Nebraska is known for.
There's nothing besides corn. Yeah, besides corn, there's nothing else really, man.
Corn and drugs. No wonder people do drugs.
Yeah, corn and drugs, man. Very small town. But yeah, no, man. So I just went there and it just got worse. At this time, I'll say about half a year in from moving up there, I brought my my ex and my daughter to live with me, and then we're gonna start a family and everything. And then it was just my daily routine. I could remember just waking up, getting my child, and it was like I want to say I was a functioning addict, right? Mm-hmm. So I would wake up, get my daughter ready, get myself ready. We're all getting ready to leave the house and start our days, and go to work. But it's when on my way back from work, that's when the whole process would start. I had to stop at the gas station. And the thing about Omaha, Nebraska is that there's liquor everywhere. Gas stations, grocery stores, wherever, man. You could get drive-through liquor. Like in restaurants will give you mixed drinks to go home. So it was easy for me to find. It started off slow because alcohol wasn't really my thing, but it's because I'm trying to escape, I'm trying to escape my DOC. So I kind of figured alcohol is like, I could go into that and manage that. I could manage I could manage this fucking alcohol, bro. Right? And I should know better because, I did have an issue with alcohol before. But, okay. But, anyways, yeah, man. So it would just be every single day, man, because I couldn't find my DOC up there. That's why I moved. So I thought I was doing good. But it was just worse with the alcohol. I don't know. It just took me to a place. It's dark, man. Like I would bro. I would say like I would have to drink a pint a day. That's about what? Like this, the 750 milliliter a day. 750?
Isn't that a handle, I believe?
No, that's a 175.
Oh, so, okay, that's what I drank almost per day.
Okay, no, it's like the little slim one. It's almost like, cause my
A pint is a little bitty, the pocket one, isn't it?
Okay.
Oh, whatever.
So the one the one above a pint, man.
Okay.
Whatever
so a normal bottle of liquor. I think so. I think it's a liter, whatever.
Okay, whatever, yeah.
Or whatever it is.
Man, it was so I would have to revert to that, daily, man, and it was just becoming something that I couldn't really keep up with because what would happen when I would stop, buying the bottles cuz I would tell my ex, "Hey, okay, I'm stop drinking. All right, I'll put it down." I found that I couldn't.
So a fifth is 750 milliliters.
Okay, boom, then that, a fifth. Yeah, that's what it was. Okay.
We weren't worried about the size of the bottle. We were just worried about drinking the damn thing. What is it called? No, just hand me the one from the shelf.
Yeah,
okay?
no, literally, that's what I would do. I didn't have the term for it. Yeah, that one right, next to it. Yeah, that one, yeah, that. Yeah, but yeah, man. So when I told my ex like, hey, I'm gonna stop getting fucked up. She's like, all right, good. I'm like, all right, good. And I would just buy shooters. And they were easier to hide. Mm-hmm. So I would buy 800 proof shooters, get home, immediately shoot to the bathroom, fucking down like 4 of them. And these are all 100 proof. Down like 4 of them, come out of the bathroom. She's like, yo, why are you, I'm just tired. I just gotta work. Man. I'm so tired, man. And then I'm like tripping over shit, and then like, it's ridiculous, man, but that was my reality, and then I would go back into the bathroom and finish the last 4. And then by this time I would be, that was enough to get me like, fucked up,
Yeah.
and I would forget that I, bought these bottles because I would go and hide them, man. It was like insidious, bro. Like I would hide them in a jacket, hide them in the sock, like and roll the sock up and put it in the shoe, like hide it in my pockets in my dirty laundry. Bro, it was a problem. And but I couldn't stop, I couldn't stop, man.
I never had to hide the liquor just because, like, most of my... I mean, I hid my meth real well.
Yeah.
But, because when it came to the liquor, I'm not going to call them alcoholics, but I was just some pretty heavy drinkers.
Yeah.
So it was normal. We had 10 or 12 bottles of liquor in the house at all times. And I'm talking about handles.
See... Oh, sorry. No.
So, I mean, I didn't have a spouse that I ever had to hide it from.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing, because in that 7-year relationship, yeah, man, it's just me constantly telling her the same shit over and over and over and over and over again within those 7 years. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna stop partying. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop fucking taking coke. I'm gonna stop. But I don't. It's like I'll abstain for a little bit, and then like about a week or 2 into abstaining, like get with my friends and be like, hey, okay, here's what we're gonna do, man. We're gonna give instead of texting me, yo, let's get some coke. This name the coke like something. Let's give a code word to the coke. Like let's just call it like 21 or something, and then be like, okay, yo, trying to get 21, and then she'll never know, and then it's crazy shit, bro. It's like. And at the time, it wasn't crazy. At the time, I felt like fucking, like
James Bond and shit.
and
Jump
shit,
Street.
right? But yeah, man. It was really bad. It was to the point where, I was contemplating, taking my own life, man, because I didn't know what else to do. I honestly didn't know what else to do, man.
It's crazy to hear on how many people that struggled with any type of addiction, whether it's drugs or alcohol, they feel that it's easier to take their own life than it is to get fucking clean.
Yeah.
Like, if anybody listening fucking feels that way, bitch, pull the gun out your mouth, do whatever the fuck. Like, it is so much easier to get clean than you realize. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a rough road. But the thing is like, you can get clean and you can succeed at it. Like, no matter how many times you fall down, like, just fucking get back up because it'll finally at one point it'll stick. I mean, sobriety and recovery and clean time, whatever you want to refer to it as. I mean, it'll eventually stick. So, but I mean, it's insane when I hear how many addicts at one point either thought about taking their own life or attempted suicide or at one point had a gun in their mouth.
Yeah. And that's the thing, man. Like I always say now, like, of course, I got another drink in me. Of course, I have another, I have another party in me. But I don't have another hangover, man. I do not have another hangover in me. I remember my last hangover, like, like it's nothing, man. Like I remember that shit. I can still feel it every time I see alcohol. It's just like, bro. I could have that thought that, oh, that looks good. But then I'm like, that fucking hangover, bro. And it's just like, dude, that hangover, man, it was scary. It was scary because, within the last year, after every hangover was that thought of suicide. Like,
yeah.
Like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? Why you just said you were going to stop? Why do you, cause I'm letting myself down, disappointment, shame, guilt, and,
that hangover, my last hangover was Atlanta, Georgia. I flew in Friday night, was leaving Saturday night, went in for photos of a cemetery that they have there. And needless to say, I never made it to the cemetery to take any photos. And, like, that was probably the worst. Like, and that's the last day I ever touched liquor. And still to this day, when I relapsed, if anybody listened to episode 46, you would know about that. But the times of my suicidal thoughts was coming down off of meth.
Yeah.
The methamphetamine come down is incredibly rough, especially when you're on like a 4-day run.
Yeah.
And then you're coming down and your body's like, finally, bitch, give me some food, give me some water, like feed me. And I'm a big girl already, so like my body's already wanting food and multiple. But yeah, I mean, that's when I was like, maybe I should just go up the street, like to the park, like so my roommates don't have to clean it up. Like I was like planning it to a point where, like I knew who would find me. I knew what kind of phone calls that they were going to make, and I just didn't want my roommates to have to clean up the body.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, of course, like, that's fucking insane to go through that much fucking process when all it takes is asking for help to get fucking help.
Oh, my gosh.
That's all it takes. Asking for help. Swallow, like, I mean, if any of my gays are listening, like, swallow your pride like you swallow something else and fucking just ask for some goddamn help. And anyways, so what was the final tipping point for you?
You know what? My final tipping point wasn't even a rock bottom. Like most people, like they come in with a rock bottom, they're like, oh man. And I love hearing the people's war stories, man. They're like, man, I hit this rock bottom. I was like, never, no more. Mine, I was just like, okay, bro, this has to stop. Like literally, like I was literally fed up with my shit. Cause I came down the first week, spent all the money I had saved, in Omaha, Nebraska, spent all of it. I felt like shit. All right, okay, I'm not gonna do this again. Second week goes by, and I remember it's like a Friday, man, and I hit this meeting, and I'm like, well, before I hit the meeting, I'm like, bro, I'm gonna do something about this, man. It wasn't even a rock bottom, bro. It was just like, I think I might have like had a drink the night before because I was like, trying to calm down, and then
something that causes us to have anxiety should calm us down a lot.
Right. And I was just like, yeah, bro, this has to change. I can't do this anymore. Like, and I just put in the footwork. I went on the app and looked for
meetings, NA meetings. I mean, if anybody,
I looked for the other fellowships meeting because I didn't know. I didn't know, so I was just like, meetings near me, and it's just like other fellowship, alcohol fellowship meetings available near you. So I'm like, all right, cool. Well, I remember going to this one when I had the court order, so let me go back to that one. I didn't know where else to go. Man.
Yeah, and if anybody is seeking out meetings or doesn't know how to find these apps, you can follow my link tree, and at the bottom of my link tree we'll have a meeting chair app. It has a little chair, and that is for AA meetings, and then there'll also be another meeting app for NA meetings. So I don't think the other fellowships have apps, or I would have those also on there.
So.
But yeah, so I mean, if you are seeking out a 12-step, or just fucking email me, I'll find you one. Um, so, say, like, I mean, I have a lot of horror stories, but I also didn't have a rock bottom.
Yeah.
I feel the first go round I didn't. The second go round I sure did before moving to Florida. I mean, it wasn't as severe as some people's rock bottom with homelessness and stuff like that, but I was isolated in a fucking room, door like locked and closed, just me fucking just smoking a meth pipe just to fucking smoke it, just because I didn't have shit else. I was like, anyways, that's here nor there. So, I just thought about this. So, before we end the episode, let me ask a question. If you could go back and tell yourself, before ever picking up a drink or a drug, tell yourself one thing, what would it be?
I don't know, man, because I would think I would be full of shit. I would never, in a million years, think I would be here. He could have probably even pulled up video proof, and I would have been like, bro, you fucking edited that shit. There's no fucking way. I would never believe it. I'd never believe it because it started off in intervals. It started off with me never doing this, and I just kept graduating onto doing that. So I would never. But if I couldn't, I would take the advice. I would just say, man, just stay in school, bro. Get away from these. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'll be okay. You don't have to fit in, because that was my problem. I was trying to fit in, and drugs made me feel a part of. I instantly became this cool kid, you know, on campus, and it felt nice.
But yeah, now you're a cool kid in the 12-step meet.
Yeah, now I'm a cool kid. And it's ironic because I do feel that way. You know, I feel like, oh, everyone, you know, for the people that know, you know, that knows your name, it's nice, man. It feels so nice, bro.
It's kind of like Cheers, where everybody knows your name. Yeah. If you're young, you have no fucking clue what Cheers is.
Google Cheers is the show.
The TV show. Yeah, everybody will know your name, but there's a lot less liquor there. So, if anybody like resonated with your story and like wants to reach out, where can they find you?
Oh yeah, you can find me on Facebook. Mark Not Mark at Mark Not Mark. It's MarkNotMarc. And
not Mark is one word.
Yeah, it's all one word. Yeah, and then you can find me on IG, Mark but with a K. So that's MarC but with a K all together.
Oh my Jesus Christ! Did you have like trauma growing up between this K and C?
Yeah, I did. You know, and you know, it's just funny because I want to write a biography called "My Name Is Mark Not Mike," because a lot of people. Oh, hey, Mike. Oh, fuck, my name is Mark, bro. Like, yo. You know, so, yeah, man.
I never got, never mind. We're not.
Yeah.
Thank you again, Mark, for coming on and joining us today. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I mean, it's a pleasure being on your show, man. Thank you for having me.
Thank you again for listening to today's episode. Hit that follow button to be notified about new episodes every week. If you'd like to reach out to us, you can find us on Instagram at The Sober Unicorn Podcast or on our website at thesoberunicornpodcast.com. There you will find our episodes as well as our very own sober-owned shop featuring products from small businesses that are sober-owned. And remember everyone, don't be normal, be a unicorn, but better yet, be a sober unicorn.